for your sister.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone to Supa-Liga for the Women's Supa-Liga here tonight. We apologise for some technical difficulties with the audio early. We have a big game tonight. We've got the Cockburn Wolves taking on Perth United Futsal Club. Wolves coming into this one fresh off a win last week, and they're trying to continue that this week. Last week they got over Rockingham, Cambio, Cumbria in the Wolves season opener. Perth United, on the other hand, they also started their campaign solidly with a win in round one before falling last week, and they'll be looking to bounce back here tonight. We have, in fact, missed 2 opening goals so far, so currently the Cockburn Wolves lead 2-0, and United will be looking to bounce back in this one. Currently the Wolves coming into this week are sitting 3rd on the table, with Perth United sitting 4th, both equal on points, but this should be a close game. It should be a close game, but the Cockburn Wolves are a very talented team, and you would expect them coming into this one would be the favourites. Here's an opportunity for the Wolves. Good ball inside, but can't quite find anyone there. And United will take possession as we move through the team lineups for this evening. For the Cockburn Wolves, we have Brooke Burdett, number 3, Claudia Heinzel, 4, Tana Campos, 23, Amalia Caceres, number 1, Alyssa Van Hoek, number 8, Mariana Tabane, number 10, Samantha Brady, 5, Kate McAuliffe, 2, Dakota Van Voot, number 33, and finally Sophie Sousa Brooks, 15, rounding up the Wolves lineup as they move the ball now through defence. Trying to make a bit of a play here. That's a nice cutting board. Ball goes out and can't quite find Van Voot on the far flank. As we now move on to the Perth United lineups for this evening, we have Emma Elias, number 8, Francisca Beltran Oyazan, apologies for the pronunciation, number 18, Chloe McGlynn, 9, Samantha Ellen Quizanara, number 10, Maria Malero, number 12, Claudia Hocking, number 6, Gina Camilla Jimenez, 3, Jessie Marlim, number 15, Alicia Scambaluri, number 25, Shauna Slattery, 33, and finally Penelope Hoth, number 30. As we now get into this one, there's 13 minutes remaining, and United will definitely look to bounce back, trying to cut this deficit to 1, as that's a bit of a 50-50 contest. It will be won by United. They'll take possession. That's a good ball inside. Opportunity, but just lost control. Well defended by the Wolves there, and in the end, cleared by Burdett. There's a chance, and well saved. And the Wolves now moving on the counter. Here's a nice run on the broadcast stand. That's Brady. Samantha Brady, good cut inside. Couldn't quite find Burdett there. Well defended, and Brady will take the corner. That's a dangerous ball, but well defended there by United. Brady will retake. Brady finds Van Voot, can't control it. And now here's the counter by United. Well defended. Ball will go into touch. And it will be brought back in by Chloe McGlynn. In a fairly even start to this game, you'd say that the Wolves have had the better of it, but United have had their few opportunities as well. And here's McGlynn. Moves it all the way back. Good defence there. That's brilliant. It's going to be won back by United. That was Brady on the initial defence. Here's a shot for United, and well saved. Well saved. Fairly comfortable in the end, but the save was still required and done well there. Burdett moving the ball in defence. Van Voot. Back to Burdett. Slowly, patiently moving it in. Here's a turnover, and here's an opportunity for Marlim. Marlim, good shot, but well saved in the end by Caceres in goals. It was comfortable in the end from Caceres, but she did well. as the Wolves now move the ball through. That might be a turnover, it is, and Marlim's got it again. Good ball to the outside. Cutting board, turned over. Well done by Burdett. Gets it, here's some good movement. Here's Brady, gives it back out to Burdett. Good cut inside shot, and great save on the line. Ball still being fought over, and they'll clear, they'll escape that. It was a brilliant save in the end. It was going to find the bottom left corner, and it would have made it 3. But United survived. That's a good throw on the far flank. That ball won't find anyone. The right idea, but just no one there. Just not quite at the back post. More to the middle, but it was a good ball in the end. Just couldn't quite find anyone. And they'll reset here through Caceres. Out to Van Voot. That ball's turned over. Van Voot will clean it up though. Turned over off the back of Jimenez, but the ball will be fought over. 2 players go down. Here might be a chance for the Wolves. Nice little cut outside by Brady. And a long ball that could threaten, and it's hit the crossbar. Almost a goal somehow. As soon as that clearance was made, you knew it was going to be threatening. And they escaped that one, the Wolves. This ball's fought over. Van Voot turns around. That's a dangerous ball. Almost turned over in a very precarious position for the Cockburn Wolves. But it's going to end up being a United ball from goals. Van Voot defending. That's a nice little move. Found her teammate in Hocking, but it's turned over. Is that Hocking? No, that's a good turnover. It's going to end up being lost. That was Jimenez with a great move. And they'll move the ball back through in defence now. Bit of a high press being implemented by United. That ball through the middle won't threaten anyone. Good intense start. That ball's forward over, 50-50 contest. Here's a chance for the Wolves. Almost a cut inside. Here's a shot, well saved. Still another shot, and finished off. Finished off strongly. It was a good first save, but the second one wasn't there. And a brilliant goal. And the Cockburn Wolves take a 3-0 lead early. They've looked too strong to start. Their season started last week. They came out and had a big win, and it's looking ominous early. And United will look to respond. Good header, well defended there. That was Burdett. But United will end up with possession. That ball's turned over. Nice little bit of footwork. Here's a shot, and it's a goal. The instant that she comes on Campos, a nice little move, beat her defender, and finished off with a powerful shot, extending this lead to 4. And the Cockburn Wolves couldn't have asked for a better start in this match. And whilst these two teams are on the same points on the ladder, there is a bit of a gap at the moment starting to build. Campos is always threatening whenever she comes on, and the instant she came on there, she got a goal for her team. Here's a good little bit of defensive play by Brooks, fought over in the end by Van Hoek, and it's going to be a United ball from touch. That's turned over. Here is Brooks. Loses it. Campos does well, leaves it for Heinzel. They'll move it. Still good pressure by United. They've got to keep on fighting. Even when the scoreboard doesn't look like it may be attainable, a comeback, they've got to keep fighting. Campos tried to cut down the broadcast flank but couldn't quite keep possession as United take. Camila Jimenez gave it off to Hocking. That ball's forward over the Wolves. That's dangerous. United with an opportunity here. Here's the cut, here's a shot, well saved by Caceres. That's a good long throw, a bit of a 50-50 contest, won by United and done very well. As they move the ball through the middle, that was well done by Malero. And now they will lose it in the end in the centre. And Campos will re-steady for the Wolves.
Yeah, Claudia's there.
That's a good ball. She may get it back, Campos, she does. Back in board. Still fighting here. That's Van Hoek. Gives it off to Brooks. Finds Heinzel. Heinzel to Campos. Taking their time here. That's a good shot. But in the end, didn't trouble the keeper. As United look to build. Camila Jimenez gives it off. That ball is going to be out of the reach of everyone, and Campos will happily let that go. Campos off to Caceres. That's a good ball, but just intercepted in the end. And well done recovering there. That was Van Hoek. Campos gives it off. Good defence by United, but the Wolves will start to move it through the middle again. Here's a good ball. 1-2, chance, and a great save. Brilliant save of a certain goal. That was Ho. And they escape with no damage done. Still a corner though for the Wolves. Good ball to Brooks. Retreats to Campos. They move the ball around well. Here's Campos in the corner. Might try to find Van Hoek, but she couldn't get control of the ball. There was a good bit of movement, but Campos just lost control at that last moment, that crucial moment. I don't think they'll be too worried as Campos gets it back and finishes. Finishes beautifully. Just as she turned the ball over a minute ago, immediately gets it back and puts it straight into the back of the net with a powerful shot past the keeper. As you see there on the replay, not many keepers could have saved that. 5-0 now for the Wolves as Campos wins it. Good ball into the middle. Lost by Van Hoek, but she wins it back, and Caceres will clean it up. Here's a ball out to Van Hoek. Good ball. That's a brilliant ball, but she might have just lost control there. Heinzel, she did. It was a great idea, and the ball was good, but maybe a bit too much on it. And Heinzel just lost it. Here come United. That was Scambaluri who lost it. Caceres ends up with it. That ball isn't going to find Van Hoek. A bit of a miscommunication there. United will regain. What can they do? There's a shot. Defended well by Campos. Campos again. Nice little ball into the middle. Can't quite find her teammate though. This is turned over. Here's an opportunity for the Wolves and finished again. And the Cockburn Wolves are looking ominous. Van Hoek it was that time. And with still 6 minutes remaining in this half, it is now 6-0. With United looking lost for answers, they'll need to respond. Just focus on one goal at a time, one play at a time. Campos. The focus now won't be the scoreboard, it'll just be about playing in the right way. Not stopping fighting. No balls like that one. Campos wins it. And retreats now to McAuliffe, who's just come on. That ball's lost. Can they do something here, United? No. It ends up being lost by McGlynn. Here's a chance still. And almost getting through there with Marlim. That was Quizanara, sorry. As United now win the ball back. That's a dangerous ball into a good position for Nara, but just out of her reach. As Campos will reset for the Wolves. Here's Campos off the ball from Caceres, cuts inboard, gives it off for Heinzel, nice little inboard cut as well. Tried to find a teammate on the run, decided against it. Here's Brooks, ball back. And in the end, That was Caceres. Looks like it was a two-touch, and I think Campos knew it as soon as the ball was passed. Caceres cleared it, but now they have a chance here, United. This is big for them. What can they make of this one? It was a late call of the two-touch, but it was the right call in the end. And taking the kick will be Chloe McGlynn by the looks of it for United. She'll put everything into this, or she may give it off. Wall set up and well defended. No score there, it's still 6-0. But it still will be a United ball in a dangerous position. Here's McGlynn, just gets to her out of Campos's reach, but now it's turned over. And here come the Wolves. Brilliantly done there by Brooks. Tried to find Campos, couldn't find her, and the ball sailed into touch. And the Wolves will retake again through Campos. High flick, defended well by United. Kick straight back over her head. And it's going to hit the roof, it's going to hit the netting. The kick was by McGlynn, and the Wolves will retake through Campos. Now they'll move it around. That's well done. That was Tabane. There's Campos. That ball won't find anyone. She did well, Campos, to get it to her teammate, but the ball, the cross as such, was too high. As United will see what they can build, but that's a dangerous move, but a beautiful move by the keeper, getting past Campos, and it might be a goal in the end. It was a nice move, but she exposed the goals. That was Hoth, but she will be happy with that, beating Campos there. And Campos wins it, and a nice move, beautiful footwork, and the ball going to touch. That's a good ball into the middle. Well done by United here, good build up, but it's turned over. Here's a chance. Can they convert? Not quite. The ball from Nara, they're still going though. That's McGlynn on the outside, but the Wolves will win possession in the end, and Campos, that was a good ball to get to her, but she couldn't quite control it. And Oyazin will take, good ball into the middle, but turned over. That's a nice little bit of footwork. Here's Campos, but the ball just out of her reach. That was Tabane with a nifty footwork in the middle. And that long ball wasn't a bad ball, but it looks like Nara wasn't ready for it. And the Wolves will retake.
Brooke, let him on get it. Stay here.
Just under 4 minutes left on the clock. That ball, can she find a teammate? She does in the end. Nice little move. Here's a chance. And that would have been a contender for goal of the round, but couldn't finish. Here's Campos. Trying to finish another one, but well defended. Very well defended, that was by Oyazin. Here's Campos. Good ball in the middle. Campos will get it back on the left. Can't beat the keeper. Didn't get as much on that ball as she would have wanted, Campos. She'll take the corner. Nice little step over there. Can she beat her opponent? She can. Here's a chance! And the post. She found the woodwork. It was a great ball, and Burdette couldn't quite find the back of the net. United doing well to steady at the moment. They haven't conceded in the last few minutes. They'll take that as a win. They've defended strongly, as they do there. Good ball to Campos from Tabane, from Campos back to Tabane. Looked at Campos, didn't go to her. Finds a teammate on the far flank, on the broadcast end. She'll get it back here. Here's a shot, and it sails long from Tabane. Just got under that. McAuliffe was involved there as well. This will now be a United ball. It was always going to be a challenge, this game, for United. They have shown signs. They just want to continue to stem the tide and maybe get a goal on their own, as that ball just out of the reach of Marlim. As Brady now on, brings it back into play, gives it to Tabane. Here's a chance for Campos, still moving. Campos might get it back. And that probably would have found the back of the net if not well blocked by the United defence. Looks like Tabane to bring it in. She'll get it back. She finds Campos. Almost tried to go back to Tabane, but Tabane didn't move. And it'll be a goal throw for United in Hoth. Hoth, dangerous ball, and Campos. Looked like she had a crack there for what would have been some sort of a finish. But nevertheless, it's going to be a United ball. That's turned over. That's Brady. Loses it. Brady almost wins it back. They'll win it back in the end through Campos, who in the middle of play substitutes for Van Voot. Here's Brady. Good ball, but well defended in the end by Marlim. Burdett to Brady. Now out to Tabane. Back to Brady. Van Voot. That's Tabane. Tried to find a teammate in the middle, couldn't. But they'll be all right because Van Voot wins it in the end. Here's a chance, but finds side netting. The shot from Samantha Brady didn't get all of it, didn't get what she wanted on that connection. And now United build. That ball won't find anyone through Malero. And the Wolves will retake. They retreat there. Here's Van Voot. Cuts in board, tried to beat two defenders but couldn't. Here's a chance for United. Can they get a goal? There's Marlim. Finds a teammate on the far flank. Here's a Yarzan. And it's going to be a keeper's ball for the Wolves with just over a minute remaining. Can the Wolves make it 7 or can United hold off? That's a nice move. Beats 1, beats 2, cut in board. Can't find a teammate there, Brady. Brady gets in there defensively, but United will retain possession. They've done well to keep it here. Oh, and Marlim was waiting in the middle if they could have got it to her, but just couldn't. But they'll keep possession after a clearing kick by the Wolves. Here's Hocking. Long ball. Intercepted by the Wolves. Ball outside coming from Tabane. They'll start moving here. Burdett. Tabane ends up with it again. Gives it off. Very patient here. Patient play. They're very good at doing that. The Cockburn Wolves. That was Brady. Found Van Voot. Good ball to Burdett. That's a good ball from Brady. And they're just taking their time. They don't look to be in any rush here. They might try and get one shot off and not allow United the counter. Here's Brooke Burdett. Finds Anvers, 7 seconds. That ball sails long, and that should do us for the half, you would think, unless United can pull something out of this last 5 seconds. It's been a good first half. Entertaining futsal. It's been clinical, really, from the Wolves. As this is a chance with 3 seconds to go, just sails out of the reach. Just out of the reach of Maria Malero. And that will do us for the first half. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot to come in this second half. We'll see if the Wolves can extend the lead or if United can try and make a comeback. So we will be back in just a few minutes.
Futsal WA has social futsal competitions 5 nights a week in Mount Lawley and West Perth. Whether you're an individual or have a group of mates who want to play, there's a junior, men's, women's or mixed competition that will suit you. Contact us to get involved in futsal, an action-packed sport and the fastest growing sport in Australia.
Welcome back here, everyone. We're underway for the second half. As that opportunity goes begging. We have the Wolves currently holding a commanding 6-0 lead over Perth United. It's been an outstanding performance by them so far, as Campos can't quite find her teammates on the far flank, but the Wolves have been sharp in attack. They've been ruthless in front of goal, and they've been in control of this contest from the beginning. Perth United will now play for a lot of pride, see if they can steady the ship and potentially see if they can score a breakthrough goal. As there's a chance, and it might be another one, but well saved on the line by Perth. As the Wolves still going, that ball will be high. And danger averted. The shot by Hines will not on target in the end. Here's Tyner Campos. Cutting through the middle, off to Heinzel. Out wide to McAuliffe, turned over. Here's a chance for United's first goal. It may be, but well blocked in the end. Claudia Heinzel getting in the way. And here's Campos, moving, cutting it board, tried to get it in to Heinzel, but couldn't find her. Well defended by United. Campos. Nice little feint. Good hesitation. Tried to get past the defender, and very well done in the end. That was a brilliant bit of defending by Claudia Hocking. As the Wolves now present another opportunity. Campos, little back heel, can't find her teammate in McAuliffe. It was covered well by United. Here's Hoth. Ball is turned over. Here's Heinzel. Good ball to Campos. And it will go all the way back in the end. And they'll reset Van Hoek. Great ball. And almost a goal there. Great save on the line again by Hoth. It was a brilliant ball there to get it to McAuliffe as that shot goes off. And now it's finished. Second time lucky for Kate McAuliffe. And that'll make it 7. Couldn't finish that first. But she didn't miss twice. And the Cockburn Wolves extend their lead early in this second half. It'll be very easy for them to be happy with the 6-0 lead and to slow down a bit. But it seems like they've come out with strong intent in the second half. As United try and build something here. Nice little bit of movement, but well defended by the Wolves. As she goes all the way back there in at Yalas. That ball's turned over. Campos will happily leave it, and Caceres will take. Here's Tina Campos in defence. Gives it off to Heinzel, back to Campos. Good ball. Couldn't find Heinzel in the end though. Turned over. Here's Yalas. Campos is going to end up winning it. Here's another chance for an 8th goal, and not finished. Looks like it might have been a save. It was. Great by Hoth. The shot from Van Hoek almost found the back of the net, but she made a number of big saves so far in this game. Could have been more the margin as that ball's cleared. Campos, brilliant cutting board. Can't find her teammate on the goal line as that ball will end up in Caceres' hands. Here's Van Hoek, tried to cut it down the line. Campos now looming in defence as United try and build. Here's McAuliffe, here's Campos, nice pass. Shot blocked, still going, still chance. Campos finishes now. Brilliant in the end. Alyssa Van Hoek found Campos at the back post, and that will make it 8. And similarly to the first half, which we did not catch on the broadcast, 2 early goals to start the half. Ball's fought over in defence, and the Wolves will keep. Campos, Van Hoek, brilliant little move there by Brady, can't keep it in though.
Side ball blue. Play.
What can United build? Long ball but well defended, and in the end, just out of her control was Scambaluri, just off the outside of that right boot. As here comes Campos, defended by McGlynn. Here's a good ball, this is a chance, but well defended by United again. As Campos brings the ball back in. Gives it off to Van Hoek. Out to Heinzel. Ball goes into touch and Heinzel will retake. As that ball bobbles around a little bit in the centre, and United will take possession now. That's a good ball. Finds her teammate. Here is Jimenez. Still going, but that ball won't find anyone. The right idea by Marlim, but no one on the receiving end, unfortunately for United. Here comes Campos. Finds her teammate in the middle. A nice little move, but just can't get past the defender with McAuliffe. And that's a turnover. Here's Van Hoek for another goal. Well saved though by Hoth. Van Hoek again. Can't keep it in, and it will be United regaining possession, so they avert the danger there. So here you go United. Nice little leave by Scambaluri. Can't keep it in though with Campos looming. And it's still 8-0. United have not dropped their heads. They're still fighting for that first goal in this game. Campos gives it off. Here's Brady. Van Hoek cuts in board brilliantly. Splits 2 defenders now. Tried to find Campos, but they weren't on the same page. As here's now a chance for United to go to the other end. Marlim loses it. Well cleaned up by Van Hoek. And the Wolves will reset. Van Hoek, long ball, but well defended. Couldn't quite beat the defender. But Brady still looming. Here's Scambaluri, turned over, and Campos might have a crack here, and she should finish, but just wide right. As United take, that ball just gets through everyone, including the intended target in Emma Elias. Here's Tabane. Campos tried to find her teammate at the back post, couldn't get there. Campos cut in board brilliantly, finds her teammate, and what a save on the line by Hoth. It was a brilliant move by Campos and ended up finding Tabane, but a great save to prevent that 9th goal. But will it only be a matter of time? As the Wolves, another one through Campos, that would have taken some sort of finish. It was a bit of an awkward ball, and she couldn't get that one on target, but not many could. As this looks like it might just be out of the reach of Hoth, and it's going to be a corner ball for United through Tabane. Tabane takes Campos, frustrated at herself. Had a bit of an open lane there to have, really if it was on target, it really would have threatened the goals, but wide left. As United now take Campos, getting there. United keep possession, but now it's won by the Wolves. Turned over. And here go United down the other end. Can they keep possession? They can. Good ball by Yazin. She'll get it back here. Oh, Yazin. Now's a chance, but just couldn't find her teammate. They're still going, United. Still a chance. And somehow, some way, the Wolves avert danger there. It was a brilliant bit of play by United. Probably one of their best plays of the evening so far, but couldn't quite find the back of the net. As the Wolves now through Brady. Can she beat her defender? She can now. Cuts it inboard. Here's a chance for goal number 9 on the left. And well saved.
Side ball.
Good shot off there by Brooks. Tabane finds a teammate. Tabane can't get it back. The pass by Brady just out of Tabane's reach. As we go all the way back now. Back to Caceres. And here's Campos. This might be a shot. As she runs straight off substitution. Went for an incredible goal there as Malero now comes on. Malero calls for it. Doesn't receive it though. The referee will call a bit of a stop and play now. And they'll reset here, United. As that turnaround ball couldn't quite find anyone from Yazin. The Wolves will regain. 13 minutes left. 8-0 is the lead. Can they extend it? Can they make it double digits here tonight? I'm sure United won't want that happening. They'll try everything to steady the tide. They've done pretty well since those first 2 goals in this half. That ball doesn't get through from Brooks. Out to Heinzel. Finds Brady. Might go back to Brooks or she might push further forward. She will go forward. Here is Brooks. May get a shot off. Deflection! And almost found the bottom left. A lot of fortune would have been involved in that goal, but couldn't quite find that bottom left corner. But they'll win themselves a corner. Here's a chance. Heinzel. Ball goes long. That wasn't Heinzel, my apologies. That was Burdett, but the ball was sailed right. That ball will go into touch and the Wolves will regain possession. The chance. That ball goes into Caceres' hand. As the Wolves now build. Here's Brady. Down the flank, turned over, and United clear. Well defended, but that ball didn't find anyone. The only real target was Jimenez, but straight past her. They'll bring it back now, the Cockburn Wolves through defence. Here's Brady. Brady, too much on that touch, almost turned over, but she does well to win it back. Burdett called for it, didn't get it. It looks like Brooks here. And just wayward with the pass. Couldn't find her teammate. Into Bain. That might be it is a turnover, is it? But in the end, well recovered by United. Cut to the outside, can they keep it in? No foul called. There may be. There is. So it's going to be a United ball. Can they get that breakthrough goal? We saw something similar last week as Burdett takes possession. Here's Brady. Off to Burdett, back to Brooks. Brady. Back to Burdett. This is very nice movement by the Wolves, trying to pick apart this defense. Here is Brooks. High ball by just sailing left. And that's Hocking. Great ball by Hocking. Finds a target. Her intended target was McGlynn. She keeps it. And another good opportunity. And they'll win a corner here. It'll be Oyarzun taking. She has McGlynn and Hocking waiting. Here's Hocking. Here's a shot. And into a dangerous spot. Well saved by Caceres. May have come off the head of the attacker there for United. Looks like it has. And Caceres will end up with it. As the Wolves see what they can set up here. That ball goes back. Brady will get it back here. Chance still looming. Finds her teammate. Here's a chance for Brooks. Not finished. And another chance. But just wayward left. That was Brooke Burdett. And here's the turnover. This should be finished, and it is. With class, Mariana Tabane gives the Wolves a 9-0 lead. As the goal is disallowed, a handball called, and United will avoid that. We saw last week, it was the Wolves taking on Braza. Braza hadn't scored a goal since moving up into the WSL, and they scored a goal late. They went down convincingly, but we did score a goal late. That was the Cobras who played against Braza last week. The Wolves did have a convincing win the week before against Braza, and I believe they were held goalless. Sterling Braza, and that's when they got their first goal last week. That was the Cobras. As the Wolves now see what they can build. Here's a chance. Chance still, and found the left woodwork. Almost by Brooke Burdett. As United see if they can get that first goal of the evening. Long ball turned over. Here's Van Vugt. Can't quite find her teammate in Burdett.
Yes, thank you.
And the Wolves will take. Here's Brady. Gave it off to Burdett. Back to Brady, back to Burdett. Bit of passing between the two of those we've seen throughout the evening. There's Van Voogd. Brady has a few options. Tried to find Burdett, but well defended there by United. Brady. Bit of intensity has gone out of this game as the game has worn on. Both teams tiring. Here's Burdett. Tried to find her teammate on the far end in Brady. Couldn't get there. Here's Brady. Burdett. On that far flank. Couldn't quite find Tabane. She did, but Tabane's touch betrayed her, and now United will take. Long ball. Can't find anyone. The Wolves, can they do something on the counter? There's Brady. Good ball. Here's an opportunity, and well defended by United. May have got through there to Tabane at the back post. May have been a bit behind her. As a timeout is called with 8 minutes remaining. We'll be back in just a minute.
Futsal WA has social futsal competitions 5 nights a week, Mount Lawley and West Perth. Whether you're an individual or have a group of mates who want to play, there's a junior, men's, women's or mixed competition that will suit you. Contact us to get involved in futsal, an action-packed sport and the fastest growing sport in Australia.
Welcome back. Here come the Wolves. Here's a chance. Not one. Here you go, United. Just out of the touch there. The opportunity was Malero, just lost it. But the Wolves will regain. Just under 8 minutes remaining in this matchup. Can the Wolves keep a clean sheet, or can United get a score on the board? Here are the Wolves through Van Hoek. Chance. Not finished by Van Voogd. Speculative shot there, just sailing high. As Hoth gives it off. That's turned over. Almost. They'll keep it, United, and do well to retain possession there. Good foot in there from Dakota Van Voogd. As United, that ball won't find anyone. Wolves will retake. Here go the Wolves, still pushing. Now United cut the ball through the middle. There's Hocking, ends up retreating. And here's a chance. Brilliant ball to the outside. They might bring it back in. They might get a shot off. Still going, and just not finishing. Probably one of their few really good plays of the day, but couldn't quite beat Caceres in the end. Just lost control of it at that last moment. They would love a first goal, United, but that just wasn't to be. Here come the Wolves again. Here's Van Voogd. Shot straight into the hands of Hoth. Here's a dangerous ball. Van Voogd almost pounced on it. She did, but couldn't control it. If she had, would have been a big threat. And United possessing the ball now. That's a good little ball, but in the end, good use of the body by Heinzel. And Caceres will finish with the ball and now restart the play. Here goes Van Hoyt. Out. Van Voot back inside. Here's a chance, but they'll retreat. Van Hoyt. Out to Heinzel. Here's a shot. And for a moment, I thought it might just sail under that top bar, but couldn't quite. Just over the crossbar. And that ball is going to end up being lost in the end by United. It looked like the keeper thought it was off of the Wolves, but not to be. It's going to be a corner for Cockburn. Here's Van Voot. That ball high. Hoth gives it off. She has to use her hands, and she will now. Long ball, but no one there. I think the intended target on that play was Jimenez, but the Wolves will end up with it instead. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this one. The Wolves will be very satisfied with this performance. They've been clinical, but that's a turnover. Here's a chance for United. They've got options. Here's a chance for their first goal! And what a finish! Claudia Hocking gets the goal they were looking for. And a brilliant finish. Getting past Caceres. And a nice little moment there for United in this one. Just as I'd said that the Wolves had been clinical, they concede a goal. It won't be too concerning for them, but it is a good moment for United. And it looks like they've got a bit of momentum now. But that ball's turned over. Caceres brings the ball back into play. Here's a turnover. Could they make it 2 in a minute? Just out of Hocking's reach. It was a brilliant goal by Hocking. Took her time and put everything into that right boot and finished it beautifully. McAuliffe. 1-on-1 contest. That's a good ball by Hocking. It was won by United and just out of the reach there. Couldn't quite find Elias. And the Wolves regain. Caceres. Looks like Tina Campos has just come on. She gives it off to Van Hoyk. This is a nice move. She tries to cut it now outboard, but can't beat that third defender or the second defender in that chain. That's well done. Good by United. Still going here, Elias. Almost found her teammate there. Well defended by the Wolves. If that got through, it would have been a big chance. But couldn't get it through. Caceres. Campos. Gives it off to Van Hoyk. Nice little move to the outside. Now finds Campos. Campos cuts it back. Probably almost had a teammate at that back post, but decided to retreat instead. Here's Heinzel. That ball just out of the reach of the target that she was going for there in McAuliffe. Good defence by McAuliffe. Ends up with Heinzel, and McAuliffe loses it. That's a good ball. That's a win. Here's a chance for 2 goals. Not to be. But Hocking with 2 opportunities now in the space of about a minute. And she's had an impact. Getting that lone goal for United. Avoiding the clean sheet. Here's Campos. Big shot. Couldn't quite find the accuracy she was after. Just sailing high. And here come United. Nice long run, trying to beat Campos. I think she did, but Elias ends up losing it. And here come United. That ball can't get through to anyone. And the Wolves will retake with 3 minutes remaining. Campos turns it over almost, but in the end well recovered. That's to Bain. To Bain to Campos. Almost turned that over as well, but she finds Campos. Here's a chance. Here's Van Hoek. Cuts it inboard. Cuts it inboard one too many times, but she'll win it back, Van Hoek. And they'll retreat and reset this play, but that's a nice turn by Van Hoek. Just losing control of it at that last minute and can't keep it in. Hocking. Found her teammate in Elias. She keeps possession, finds Jimenez. As that ball is defended very well in the end by Heinzel to win. Not quite win possession back, but at least stop and attacking foray. And United will reset with just 2.5 minutes remaining in this. The right idea there just wasn't there in time. The intended target was Scambier-Lurie. And Caceres will retake. 8-1 the lead. Just over 2 remaining. Here's Campos. The ball gets to her. Tried to get past the defender, but can't. And she'll end up with it now. Tina Campos. Now goes to the outside. Finds her teammate. Here's a chance. And finished. Almost saved by Hoth. Just couldn't keep it out. And to Bain with the finish. And that's a 9th. That is a 9th goal for the Wolves. Now brings into the question, can they make it double figures with that last goal, just under 2 remaining in this game? That's a dangerous ball, but well done in the end, keeping it out of trouble. Hocking as United try and starve off this attack. Well done by Brady coming in, wins the ball. That ball just doesn't get through to Campos. Here's a chance for McGlynn. McGlynn cuts it inside from Brady and just can't find Hocking. Especially in the second half, we've seen some glimpses from United. They just want to, going into next week, have those glimpses be a bit more consistent throughout the game and potentially challenge. But it is always going to be a tough ask against a team of the quality of the Cockburn Wolves. As you see here, this is Campos. Campos should finish. She'll give it off. And there's a chance for Campos, but straight to Hoth. I think both players there for Wolves were being very unselfish. Both probably could have had a shot earlier. As Campos will now take to bring it back in bounds. There's Campos. Finds Brady. Looking like they're focusing on trying to really emphasise ball movement in this last minute. As that ball almost gets through to Campos, but well defended in the end by Oyazun. With exactly 60 seconds left on the clock. Here's Campos. Gives it off. Good ball there by Van Hoek. Brady tried to centre it and she'll win a team a corner. Brady long ball. Campos is going to go for it. Can't finish, but still the chance. Beckons and can't find the bottom left corner there, Van Hoek. They've still got 47 seconds to try and get that 10th goal of the evening. Here's Campos. Gives it off. She'll get it back. And another brilliant save by Hoth. She's made a number of saves. It probably could have been a lot larger, this win for the Wolves, as that Campos shot goes way high. And Campos will get another chance here. Can she finish now? She'll give it off. And the chance still is there for the Wolves. Campos in this. Going to bobble around a bit and United will escape. 26 seconds remaining. Brady does well. There's Scambialuri. Keeps possession, but Campos now wins it. Campos still going. And it goes into touch with 12 seconds left for one last opportunity for the Wolves. Here is Tabane. Back to Brady. Last chance. There it is. And just sailing high again from Tyner Campos. 4 seconds remaining. They may just go long here. They will, but still a chance. Last shot. And in the end, too strong from the Cockburn Wolves. They'll take this one. They'll come out with the chocolates 9-1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly for a big clash between Furia Futsal Club and the West Coast Cobras. So we'll be back in just a few moments.